Hello caffeine fiends and welcome to another coffee review video for www.getbean.com. I'm Vince the Mean Bean Machine and today we're looking at Coaltown Coffee's Candy Cane Single Origin. Now, Christmas is almost upon us. Like some lingering predatory creature, there is no escape from the darkness that is the festive season. So, in an attempt to stop me drinking bleach, I've gone out and bought some nice coffee to drink instead. Coaltown Coffee Roasters have done a festive duo this year. So that's a single origin and a blend in a gift set, in a two 200 gram bag gift set. That's the Deep Winter Seasonal Blend and the Candy Cane Seasonal Origin. And it also comes with this very nice pin badge, and that's it for 25 quid, which isn't bad at the current kind of market rate for coffee. 200 grams as opposed to 250 though, so but you know, the pin badge. Anyway, so that's your seasonal gift set, your festive duo from Coaltown Coffee. I don't know a lot about Coaltown Coffee. I know they set up in like former industrial towns or cities where they pay kind of the living wage in areas that would formerly have been, you know, hit by the lack of kind of industry that we now tend to find ourselves in the modern era. And they've produced this kind of gift set for the holiday season to kind of evoke Christmassy flavours. So the Deep Winter Seasonal Blend is kind of milk chocolate, orange peel, cinnamon spice. Is right up my street. It's the sort of thing that I will always go for. So today, using that logic, I've gone for the Candy Cane Single Origin. Just because it's something I wouldn't usually try. It's mulled wine, apparently, so the tasting notes claim mulled wine, cranberry, sugar plum. Firstly, it's from Burundi. I am almost 100% sure I have never tried a coffee from Burundi, which is very exciting. But those flavours, very sweet, very tart, cranberry, sugar plum, very sweet and tart, and then the mulled wine, like a spicy wine. So there is going to be a slight alcoholic hint. I don't think there will be acidity, I imagine, with the kind of cranberry bite, but it'll be quite sharp, is what I'm getting, and then perhaps a sort of alcoholic afternote at the back of the throat. So that'll be interesting. That's what I am imagining those flavours will come to. So let's move this stuff out of the way. As always, I've got my espresso shot, my oat latte, and water to cleanse the palate. So with those tasting notes, as I've just said, I imagine something quite sharp, but tapered a little with that mulled wine. That kind of mulled wine, it's sort of kind of a catch-all. It's like, does it have those spices, or is it just a bit, does it just have a kind of wine taste and you've gone, it's Christmas, let's call it mulled wine. So we'll see on that. But I really like kind of Coaltown's packaging, what they've done with this, and their whole kind of deal of you know, fair wages, fair pay, ethically sourced coffee is cool. 25 quid for a gift set as well. It's probably too late to order for Christmas now because of postal strikes and whatnot. But if you wanted to give it a go, it's still available on their website. You know, I'm sure you can pick it up somewhere. But you know, solidarity with our postal workers. But you can get certainly I know you can get this single origin, the Candy Cane, for £12 on its own. And then so I imagine Deep Winter's probably about the same. So yeah, Let's see what it tastes like as an espresso shot first. Let's clear the old throat. So, give it a sniff. You know, so you are getting that slight alcoholic whiff. Sorry. Slight alcoholic. You know, almost bourbony smell. But it's not overwhelming. I'm not picking up much else, but as you may have clocked, I'm a little grim at the moment. So my olfactory senses are not going to be pitch perfect. So you know, fair warning. But I'm picking up the wine note. That seems fairly evident. Not a lot else from the smell, but we'll give it a go. So let's see what we pick up from the taste, if anything. Ooh. Interesting. There is an almost kind of instant fruitiness and a little bit of a bite. It's not as sharp as I had anticipated with that kind of cranberry and sugar plum. That wine is definitely there as well. So you get the sort of bite at the tip of the tongue and then the winey, but it goes down quite smooth. It's very smooth. And then there's it's almost orangey, orange peel. Which it hasn't said. I mean, Deep Winter claims it has orange peel. I have opened the right one, haven't I? Yeah, this is candy cane. So it's almost orangey, but it doesn't have a citrusy sense, if you see what I mean. You know, if you had like chocolate orange and you identify like the sweet orange flavour, it's almost like that. It's not citrusy, but it is orangey. If you can possibly have orangey without citrusy. Perhaps not. Perhaps I'm just chatting absolute rubbish, as I do most days of my life. So yeah, interesting. It's not a particularly bold espresso shot. I'm not saying it's mild, but it's not kick you in the teeth, kind of wake up. Espresso. It's quite smooth and it's quite lovely, but in a almost. It's not mild, but it's not bold either. There's something about it that kind of says this is warming and pleasant, and it does enough to pique your interest without kind of rattling your bones. Yeah. So there is a sweetness kind of on the tip of the tongue and in the back of that throat, that alcohol-y flavour. But it's not like mulled wine. It's almost like a sweet alcohol. I guess like mulled wine. I retract my earlier statement. Cranberry's not really coming through. I guess again more like cranberry in a pudding. It's not that kind of sharp bite of cranberry. So those notes are there, but they're just, you kind of think about it and you go, yeah, I guess they're there, but in a weird form. If you see what I mean, maybe this review is going all sorts off the rails. So those notes are there, but they're not what you'd expect, and it's enjoyable as an espresso shot. But I don't think an espresso drinker would go for it. And I don't think a non-espresso drinker would be convinced by it, because it's just there's a slight acidity that I think would suit it as a nice long black drink. You know, an Americano, and you're just kind of going. It's kind of a sweet coffee to take your time with, and I think that's probably where it would sit. In that sort of espresso range, rather than just the short, sharp whack of it. But will it work with oat milk? That is an interesting question. So, will it work with oat milk? And it's an interesting kind of flavour palette to suggest it might go with oat milk. I'm not entirely convinced it will. That sweetness could could potentially kind of be complemented by the oat milk, but there's just too much acidity there. I just don't know how that balance would work out. It's an interesting one to ponder. I think you might get more of a rich sweetness, like a tart pudding, like a cranberry pudding, or a Christmas pudding, perhaps, which would be apt, I suppose. What slightly irritates me is the name candy cane. No attempt to make it taste like a candy cane. And I know they're not obliged to. They've put the tasting notes there. They've put Christmassy tasting notes, sugar plum, cranberry, mulled walnut. Why call it candy cane? I know it's branding. I know how marketing works. But, come on. Come on. Anyway, let me cleanse the palate. I give it a try as oat milk. So, let's put my mind to it. What am I expecting? A sweet richness, a rich, sweet, almost like a Christmas pudding. Kind of that booziness, I think, will sort of dissipate, but still be there. So like rum raisin almost. Oh, yeah, maybe. We'll see. But not too sharp, obviously. And I think it will become more rounded with the oat milk. So here goes. Disappointing. Not that the coffee is disappointing, but disappointing in that. Let's clear my facial features of milk. Disappointing that nothing bold particularly comes out. It is kind of sweet and warm, and that's it. It's not powering through. Not a lot is powering through. I guess that sort of cranberry. There is a cakiness to it. There is almost a cakiness. I feel vindicated in that sense. But none of those flavours or tasting notes really come through. If you had offered me up those tasting notes and offered me up the latte without the espresso kind of knowledge before, I'd be very kind of like, I think you're stretching there. And with things like cranberry and plum, I'd expect more of a bite to come out, more distinctiveness. But that sort of, like I said, that sort of alcoholic cakiness is there. That sweet stodginess almost. And it's a nice coffee. I'm just disappointed that nothing rises, comes to the fore. Nothing rises to the top. Nothing says, I am here to be tasted. It just kind of goes, yeah, it's nice. It's a nice coffee. Very nice coffee. I will enjoy it this Christmas. But nothing bold. Nothing in your face. So, yeah. I'm going to go away, think about it a bit more, write down some notes. As always, as I always do. If you're a regular watcher, you know what I do. I don't need to explain it to you. It's for all those newbies out there. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll come back with those thoughts. In the meantime, do hit those like and subscribe buttons. Check us out on the social medias. But yeah, leave us a comment. Check us out at www.getbean.com. Just see what we're doing. Or don't. I'm not your mum. But it'd be nice if you could. Anyway, see you in a second.
Thoughts on this coffee? It's a smooth, rich and slightly alcoholic taste that becomes largely washed away with milkier drinks. So it's got that nice kind of richness, that sweetness to it, but it just sort of really fades away with the milky drink. Not a bad milky drink, but no kind of discerning kind of tasting notes really come out. So sweet peaks with but ultimately quite mild in the end. So I've given it 3 stars. It's a lovely coffee. It would give it a go, and it's a nice gift set as well. But ultimately, just not quite there for me today. But yeah, do give it a try. Thank you very much. Do hit those like and subscribe buttons. Have a great Christmas, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.